people or when the clients approach you, they might not have a clear idea, or they might be not knowing to which direction they should take their business or career, or there must be certain challenges they face. So how do you approach working with these clients?
So the first step is always to understand what is our strengths of this agency or this company. So what is the profile, what is the value add, what is really like skills and expertise that this company brings.
Do you think that ChatGPT can replace this thing, personalized touch, or not?
So yes, why not use it to better understand whom you want to approach? And then you could also, let's say if you have a certain text and then you find it difficult, okay, how could I rewrite it in a maybe more formal way? Of course, why not use the tools we have? It's important to understand it's a model based on probability, and it's not a search engine because it just works based on probability that it got from the data set. So my name is Claudia Mayer. I'm based in the Netherlands. I'm originally from Austria and I have lived in Asia. So I have an international mind. What I do three things. On the one hand, I work at a University of Applied Sciences called in Holland, based in the Netherlands. And I have the main role I have is, on the one hand, I'm a lecturer. So I give trainings and lectures about design thinking to university students. I'm also a researcher at the Societal Impact Design Research Group. So it is all about understanding which methods work best for co-design projects to involve stakeholders. And besides my university work, I also have my own consultant company where I work with design agencies and creative agencies to analyze how strong and clear the current positioning is, how effective the marketing part is, and their sales funnel and the closing rate to attract the right clients. So in short, in a nutshell, I would say I'm working at the intersection between the business and entrepreneurship part and the design and creative part.
That's amazing. So can you tell us more about the co-design methods and formation that research and develop at the societal impact?
Yeah, sure. So co-design, I will just explain it step by step, is so co means collaborative, together, and design can refer to a wide field of applications. It could be to design a product, to design a service, but it could also be to design a process for a service company, but it could also be for a bigger topic. So it might not just be one topic for one company, but it could be a so-called wicked problem that you sometimes read about, which is not like easily to pinpoint because it involves a lot of different players and there is not one solution. So it's just possible to work together to get one step closer to where the different parties want to get. So in short, co-design is working together in an aligned way based on trust to, well, create the result and the impact that the group is aiming for.
Great. That's an amazing, I think, idea where all come together to work.
Yeah, and it's difficult. It's because you can imagine if there are different companies working together, they might also all have different goals or maybe different approaches. So it is very important to hear each other, understand where is someone coming from, what are the underlying maybe expectations, and then
it requires a lot of patience level also.
Patience, correct, and also trust level, because only when you trust each other, you're willing to make a commitment, and trust is built on empathizing with each other, understanding each other, understanding where someone comes from personal level or from an organizational level, and then align. So there is this saying, Priya, probably you know, being on one page. So that is literally the art and science. If a lot of different parties work together, that all of them are on the same page, agreeing, okay, this is what we are headed to.
Yes. So, how do these methods contribute to address complex societal issues, and how it can be applied in the real world projects?
Yeah. So there are different methods, and it's quite a young field, so it's developing, and there are a lot of iterations to build on existing methods, improving them. One method that we work with at the university was developed by our professor, Dr. Wina Smeng, and she looked at different scientific papers, knowledge, what are the ingredients for successful team collaborations. So we all already have worked with teams, and we might have encountered, oh, it's sometimes difficult. So there are a few ingredients that make a good collaboration. What she did is she plotted them on one visual canvas, so like the business model canvas on one page with a couple of different fields, and that helped to align. If I walk you through shortly, it starts on, okay, why is there a need for this change? So to align on that, so what is the current situation, and why should there change anything? In the middle part, it's about who is involved, stakeholders, but not just on the surface, okay, company ABC, but going deeper, okay, what are each organization's or person's interests, power, very important, and knowledge. Yes. So that's, okay, who all is on board? Who are we eventually missing? Then you define, okay, so all of us, where do we want to go? Which are the results? So more the hard results, or the soft part, the impact we want to create. And then at the bottom part of this canvas is the part where you can think about, okay, which resources and activities do we need in order to collaborate? So it tackles all these different areas together to work on this, let's say, shared interests. So where you know, okay, not one single company can, for instance, solve the for one city, let's say, to implement a certain strategic plan, but it involves different organizations to align. And then this method comes in handy because it helps to again be on one page, align, ask questions, make sure, hey, did I understand correctly that this exactly is the focus, or this is the impact we want to create? Because it is more or less a guide to ask questions.
Okay, got it. So like you work on co-design, so when people or when the clients approach you, they might not have a clear idea, or they might be not knowing to which direction they should take their business or career, or there must be certain challenges they face. So how do you approach working with these clients?
So now I'm talking about my work as a business owner, because you asked how do I work with clients, and there are, as I said before, my passion is the intersection creative and business. There are a lot of learnings from the company I can bring to the university, and vice versa, because after all, it's about achieving results, and they can be economic, but they can be social, environmental, using a creative method. So you asked me, how do I help, let's say, a small design agency coming to me, say, hey, we are, let's say, 3 years in business.
Or either you just share your one of the successful story, one successful client story, where we can know about the challenge also, and more you approach it.
There are a lot, but I want to give you a very recent one from 2 days ago.
Yes.
Where I was having a conversation with a creative business owner, And he was struggling, or he found it very difficult to start new work relationships with companies that he didn't know, but he really wanted to work with because he shares the same ambition or values. And what is very important is always to do proper research. So in a consulting process, there are always certain steps. So the first step is always to understand what is our strengths of this agency or this company. So what is the profile, what is the value add, what is really like skills and expertise that this company brings. And then the second step is to match that with the market. So the market fit, the value proposition canvas that you probably also know. It's bringing together what this company has to offer with what the market needs. And once this is clear, then the research can be done to literally look up these companies, look up, okay, who is the decision maker, what are their values, and then create a personal story or message. So in this specific example, my client, he did some research. So he had a table with 8 companies that he really wanted to work with, but he found it difficult to approach them and to have something that is useful. So his first setup of the message was, dear potential client, you might remember me from this and that meeting. And then it was a big, a longer sentence about, I am a creative business offering this and that service. I specialize in this and that. Here is my website. Have a look and let me know if there's anything relevant to you. Best regards. That's a short message.
Okay.
But we looked at it, and it was a lot about him, talking about him. And that is sometimes what I mentioned before, this, what I am very passionate at, to bring it together. So I consult creative companies to be more business savvy. So what we did is we rewrote this whole message.
Okay.
What we did is, dear potential client, I recently, like, I saw your recent project.
Okay.
An example, and I appreciate, or this and that stood out. So what you do with the sentence is you show, you know what they're doing. You've done some research. You give an honest compliment about something you think they have done great. Okay. So you establish, hey, I know about you.
Yes.
Same as you also researched your speakers. The next sentence is about seeing where is some social proof. So how can this company show, okay, we have experience in this field. So instead of saying, our company does ABC for this and this companies, we turn it around saying, by collaborating with company ABC on this and that project resulted in specific results.
Okay.
And that part is sometimes very difficult for creatives and for designers to translate what the end result of their service is, because they are very good in their field. And for some of them with a business background, they can say it very sharply, but very often it's difficult to connect the dots. Okay, so if I am, our company is a graphic design company, for instance, the end result is not the brochure itself. The end result is that there is a lot of thought put in this brochure, and knowing where to position it with which message and what call to action to include in the brochure, and connecting it, for instance, with online. Okay. So we turn it around, and then in the next sentence we said, okay, we did not say, okay, are you interested? And please look at the website and decide for yourself. But we made a very specific ask. So we said, I have a few ideas about this and that section for your website, maybe a part of this product. Are you open to hear these ideas and book a short call? So that means it's specific and making it very easy to say yes. And then, okay, best regards, speak soon. So that's an example where I showed that building relationships is all about thinking us together. What do we have in common?
Yes.
Instead of me just talking about me sending, it's about thinking, what do I bring to you and how can we collaborate together?
Yeah, that's, while you were telling about the template, that's what I saw. Like the way you started telling them where we meet, what common things. Like if we meet some art examination, we share that art interest common.
Yeah.
Then you started the social media proofs, which you told it's very important to tell. And then slowly, I just love it. But right now, if we see that, for example, ChatGPT, they give the personalized templates on their own. Mostly people use. So do you think that ChatGPT can replace this thing, personalized touch, or not?
Oh, I love your question, Bria. Great that you bring in this very recent hot topic, like everyone is talking about, thinking, is it a threat? Is it an opportunity? Is it my assistant? Is it maybe replacing me? I think it's a very exciting time. I am by nature a positive person. So I look always at, okay, what can we learn from it? And how do we design this relationship? What do we want to use it for? So how I use this tool is, for instance, let's say this agency, they have one, let's say, a dream client they want to approach, but they do not have any relationships yet. There is a tool called Crystal Knows. Have you heard about it?
Yes.
Chance?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a plugin, and you can use it for LinkedIn. So let's say if this agency would use it for, let's say, a very like a big new client, and go to the decision maker. It's important to understand in a company who makes a decision for the service that this company offers. If you have the profile, it gives you an analysis based on the DISC personality.
Yes.
It's not 100% correct. It's not objective, but it is relatively sharp and good. And as you probably know, it gives you already a few suggestions for templates and scripts. But that is a great resource, because now this company can think, hey, how can I change my tone of voice? And maybe for one person who is very rational and fact-based, okay, provide some facts. Some other person which has maybe more diplomatic or softer tone, okay, maybe it's important to mention, let's say, the trust level, or mention how they collaborate with people, with clients. So yes, why not use it to better understand whom you want to approach? And then you could also, let's say, if you have a certain text and then you find it difficult, okay, how could I rewrite it in a maybe more formal way? Of course, why not use the tools we have? But it is crucial, and that is, I think, the answer to your question.
Yes.
That ChatGPT is not able to find the sweet spot. It's not able to analyze from your expertise from this creative business and this client. ChatGPT can just give a general answer based on the data input they got at that date, but you are the business owner, so you know your business in and out. The only thing you need to do is to combine, to look at the sweet spots. And that is something that, you need to do yourself. And also, I think you should write the short beginning part, why you want to work with them, what do you share, and give an honest, personal, human compliment.
Yeah. So basically, a business is a baby, and just like the what mother can give, no one can. Mother can learn from the books. Mother can, see the YouTube videos or the things. What extra
Yeah.
I can do, but the care the mother can give, no other. So same go with the AI tools. They can guide you. They can give
True.
you the information. But what the person who is having the experience in that particular field can tell you, no one can do. No one, another person can
It's
do.
a help, like to get
Yes,
you
got it.
started. It can
Mhm.
help you improve the writing, um, but it's important to understand it's a model based on probability, and it's not a search engine, because it just works based on probability that it got from the data set. So it sometimes gives unreasonable answers. So therefore you always need to check, okay, is this really correct? And is it my tone of voice? Because maybe it would give a text, you think, wow, it doesn't feel like me. Then yeah, I think it's important to always be the final editor of work you share or messages you send.
Mhm. Yes, got it. So, how do you balance the creative aspects of design with the practicalities of running a business, or to ensure that clients are able to achieve both the things?
It's an ongoing challenge. Because especially creative and design companies, they often start from a passion. As a child, maybe they were like to draw or to create something with their hands. So there is usually a huge driver of intrinsic motivation to pursue this profession. And then it depends on the education, or what you said, it can be also informal education, watching YouTubes and reading books. It doesn't matter if it's formalized or not, but there is an education part that the person learns or is being taught about how to make it a business, because it's a complete new story. It's two pair of shoes, being good at your skill, and the other part is being able to build a business. And what I said, the marketing, the sales part, the finance part, the planning part, the accountability part, there are so many aspects to do well. And it depends a bit on how you learn about it, or how you're going to be taught. In a very art-driven education, you learn very well to master your skills, and it probably will be a small share of learning how to run a business. You basically graduate and then you learn by doing. But there are a lot of great resources out there, books, videos. There are a lot of great resources, but it's an ongoing challenge. And there was also some research done a few years ago from a Dutch university. They compared business owners, like normal business owners and creative business owners,
Yes.
and they asked them, what are your expectations, what are your business goals, why do you have this company? And then the normal business owners, they said, well, one thing, to make a profit. And the creative business owner, they said, yes, I want to make profit, and I want to prove myself, and I want to create my own style, and I want to be known, da, da, da. So it was quite a long list of I think 4 or 5 equally important goals. And if you compare, on the one hand it's 4, and on the one hand it's just 1, of course it's easier to focus on just one goal, which is the profit. So by nature, it is more difficult, because there is so much heart and passion and meaning in it. And at the same time, it is possible to succeed, because there are a lot of very successful designers who are successfully economically, but also take into consideration the teamwork, for instance, or creating flexibility, for instance, for their team, and at the same time working with sustainable materials. So there are a lot of successful role models out there.
Yes. Yeah, I believe apart from business also, if we look, take example of any field, creativity is very important. You know,
Mm-hmm.
And I can see the way you're answering the question, explaining it, very properly. So I can see your passion towards it. So was there anything, like there must be some struggles or up and downs coming to this? Otherwise, it won't be that much easy to come at this level and sharing all other things. So was there any turning point of your life where you feel you need to give up, but at the same time you hold yourself, or any part of your journey where you think audience need to listen this?
Yeah. So for sure, there is this, this quote that overnight success is never overnight. It's always an accumulation of small, like persistent small work, like showing up, doing the hard work. And I think that is super important to know that, first of all, I think success is something you need to define for yourself. Because it can be monetary success, but it can also be life quality success. It could also mean freedom, like having the freedom to arrange your own day, or having the freedom to choose the topics or the clients you work with. So one is important, that there is not one single definition of success. It depends on your own values, what's important and meaningful to you. And every, I think, business owner, there are always struggles, because it is so different to do the work. So something that you're good at and you get energy. And then the other thing is to make it run. And even if you have the people and platforms and system and everything, there's always the nitty-gritty work that is sometimes, sometimes it's tiring. Sometimes I have to do the tax statement. Sometimes a client asks you to meet at a time that you wouldn't prefer, but you still make it happen. Sometimes you need to do this extra effort to reach out to people or to read something. So there is, it's not easy. And at the same time, it's a journey, because every failure is very valuable if you learn from it.
Yes.
Because then you fail forward. You try something, didn't work, and then you learn to do it better. That's important. Never do a mistake 2 times, but it's worthwhile to make it once if you learn from it. And it's, after all, it's a trial and error, because I remember when I started in 2015, I had a very different idea about my business. I wanted to focus on a very different niche and a very different approach. I did some research, I did interviews, and I felt, because I wanted to focus on Asian professionals moving to Europe to support them in this transition. And I did all the head work. Rationally, it made a lot of sense, but there was something missing, and I couldn't sense it, what it was. And then once in a conversation with a friend said, yes, it all makes sense, Claudia, but if I remember well, you always worked with creative people. And then suddenly I thought, yes, that is the missing part. So it's being trusting your connection between what you think, what you know, with what gives you energy and what you feel. So that would be my final advice, that you let the energy flow and listen to your intuition.
Yes, got it. So that's all from my side, Claudia. Do you want to add anything from your side?
I want to add that it was a very pleasant conversation, and I want to compliment you, Priya, on your questioning skills, because you listened very careful and you asked really, really good questions. So thank you for that.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for your precious time.